Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. Bitcoin is currently trading at 94,500 US dollar. In this video we will take a look together at possible scenarios for the price development of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. And if you also want to trade with cheap fees, then I can recommend you the crypto exchange mexc, which has a similar trading volume to Bitget, OKX and Bybit. Today it's even a bit higher. But as you can see, the taker fees are far much less than on the other top crypto exchanges. And on top of that low taker fee, which is 0.01%, it's nothing. You can even save another 20% on top of that if you use my referral link, which you can find in the video description. And 100 pairs, zero fees, just on mexc. You can trade here a huge list of popular altcoins. I think today it's not even 100 pairs, it should be 118 pairs. You can trade popular altcoins without any fees on mexc. So where should I begin with Bitcoin, because we have so many targets and chart patterns today. So I will start with the rectangle from the past. So we had here the rectangle, which broke to the upside. The target of that rectangle would have been the 98,520 US dollar. But I have also told you we have a huge resistance area between 97,000 to 98,000 US dollar. In that area, it's a take profit area, because I thought Bitcoin is going to get difficulties to break to the upside, and we got them. So I personally think that the local top is in for Bitcoin. That doesn't mean that Bitcoin is bearish. I just think that for the next weeks, this was our local top. We will get a correction to the downside, and afterwards we break it to the upside. So I will take the target here. So what do I see now? I see two chart patterns. One is bullish, the other one is bearish, but can also get bullish. So let's talk about the double bottom pattern. If it breaks to the upside, which is currently the 94,850 US dollar, then the chance is high that we get into the area 95,732 US dollar, which is our resistance line from the rectangle. The target of that double bottom pattern is the 96,186 US dollar, but we can also move a bit higher into the resistance 96,400 US dollar. I will also put you here the price mark. So what I see now is a bearish pennant or a triangle. It is a bit difficult to trade a bearish pennant because you don't know where the target is going to be. Yeah, that bearish pennant has 4 different targets. The first one, and this is what I like the most, is the spread of the triangle, because a bearish pennant we can also use it as symmetrical triangle. If we break to the upside or downside, let's talk about the upside. If we break the 94,575 US dollar to the upside, but we also have here the red trend line, which is going to get us resistance, and also the double top pattern. So I would also wait for the 94,850 US dollar breaking to the upside. But still, if we break the bearish pennant to the upside, then the target is similar to the double bottom pattern. So if we break it to the downside, then the target is going to be the 92,150 US dollar, with even a chance to drop to the support 92,045 US dollar. So I will also put you here a price mark. So the 93,660 US dollar is going to get important to hold if we want to be bullish. Now I have said the bearish pennant has 4 different targets. Yeah, it depends. Do we say that this is the sell-off of that bearish pennant? Is this the sell-off of the bearish pennant? Or is the big one here the sell-off of the bearish pennant? So we have so many different targets. I still prefer to take the symmetrical triangle target, which is less bearish but also with a higher chance getting hit. But if we just take the minimal target of that bearish pennant, then we would still break the 92,785 US dollar to the downside. and this was our rectangle before. Yeah, we broke the rectangle to the upside, and usually the market mechanism is behind that is that while people are going short in the top area and long in the bottom area, we have built up liquidity over those tops and lower than the lows. And if we break to the upside, we get some momentum to the upside to liquidate the short positions which built up over the time, and get them into the liquidation means if short positions getting liquidated, the price pumps up. But on the other side, we still have the same liquidity to our downside. So I can still put that target of the rectangle to the breakout point, which would be the 92,790 US dollar. And the target here is going to be the 90,000 US dollar. For sure, we can bounce a bit earlier, but I even think since we don't have any volume here in that area, we can even drop down to 89,470 US dollar, where another support is going to wait for us. So, I have talked a lot about Bitcoin. Let's move on to Ethereum. So basically, here was the falling wedge. It broke to the upside. So we have seen this push, but this push wasn't actually sustainable. We didn't break to the upside afterwards. Yeah, we got the target of that falling wedge, but we wanted actually to see the 1,850 US dollar breaking to the upside to be bullish for Ethereum. And I still stick to that price mark. What I have tracked here, but we have to go into the 50 minutes chart, is a huge rising wedge. So this rising wedge here, I have connected this green wick here. I didn't took the red one, the big one, I took the green one. Connected it with the low here. And with the top here. So basically, if we also zoom out, then you can actually see that most likely the targets of the rising wedge are usually the end of the rising wedge, and we take here the spread of it and put it to our breakout point. If we break to the downside and we get a retest, then I'm going to move that target to the retest. But as you can see, the spread is so much, and it's too much in my view. So that's not the target which I want to take. I will take the mid-range of the rising wedge, because I think the chances to meet that target are far more higher, because I don't want to wait for the, I think the target of that was the 1,550 US dollars, somewhere here in that area. We broke it to the downside, we retested it, but if I wait for the bigger target with the bigger spread, and we even get down into that area, then I can wait a long time, because then I'm going to sleep, for example, and the price pushes to the upside, and I have lost my potential earnings. And I don't want to get that, so I basically take profits a bit earlier. I don't have to hunt every single penny. In the end of the day, I still think we have said that the 1,815 US dollar, if they break to the downside, then we can meet our support box. And we also bounced on the red trend line, so it was perfectly analyzed and set. What I think now is if we break the 1,815 US dollar to the upside again, then we have to see that this is not just going to be a second retest of that rising wedge and afterwards we sell off. And if that happens, the target of that rising wedge is the 1,630 US dollar. But as you can see, I have put you here 3 circles. The fourth one I need to take out. This was just an example. So those circuits are take profits areas in my view, because those are fair value gaps, and fair value gaps, if they get closed, we can even think about a bounce there. So basically, if we get into the area lower than 1,725 US dollar, I would be careful, because anytime soon we can even get a V-shaped recovery and push to the upside. Yeah, we have to see that where we get support. If we break to the downside, I mean the 1,725 US dollar, then I have to change my stop loss, which is in profits then. But my stop loss, I need to change it. Yeah, because anytime soon, if we drop, then I have to take my stop loss, for example, here. If we drop more, then my stop loss is going to be here. And if we get here into that area, take profit. Also take profit in those other areas. Because if we then pump to the upside and I have set my stop loss, then my stop loss is going to get hit. I'm out of the position. Ethereum can push to the upside. We can look for long position afterwards. Yeah, but this is how I would save myself and save my earnings, because fair value gaps are dangerous to trade in my view, because the bigger guys are using them to get into their long positions, most likely. So I would say the rising wedge would get invalidated once we break the 1,850 US dollar to the upside. If we do, then we have a higher chance to meet the first fair value gap, 1,885 US dollar to 1,895 US dollar. But if we also break it to the upside, then the way is free, even up to potentially 1,980 US dollar. 1,960 US dollars is also going to get very interesting, that area. And there I think if we break to the upside, we might see a local top for Ethereum in that purple box. If we don't break to the upside, then I think this scenario is going to happen with a higher chance, and we might even see Ethereum back to 1,600 US dollar. And if we also lose that price mark, then we even have to think about a scenario where we even get a newer low for Ethereum, which is even lower than 1.4k. Yeah, but this is still far away. I think 30% or 20%. So basically, it's not going to happen within a day. So we can look in a few days, even next week, if we have some scenario like that in our mind. So thank you for watching. I hope that I gave you some valuable information, and see you in the next video.